Once upon a time, in a land far away, there lived a brave soldier who had just returned from a long and difficult war. He was tired and penniless, with nothing to show for his bravery. But he had a heart full of courage and a knapsack on his back. As he walked along the dusty road, he couldn't help but wonder what he would do now. He had no money, no food, and no home to return to. But he knew that he couldn't give up. He had to keep going. One day, while he was resting under a tall oak tree, an old witch with a crooked nose and a pointy hat appeared before him. The soldier was startled but soon realized that the witch meant him no harm. The witch, with a sly smile on her face, said, "I see you're in need of some good fortune, young man. I can help you." The soldier, curious but cautious, asked, "How can you help me?" The witch reached into her pocket and pulled out a small, shiny object. It was a tinderbox. She told the soldier that this magical tinderbox could bring him great fortune. With a twinkle in her eye, she said, "This tinderbox has 3 flints. When you strike the first flint, a small dog will appear to obey your command. Strike the second, and a bigger dog will come. Strike the third, and the biggest and fiercest dog will be at your service. But be careful, young man, for great power comes with great responsibility." The soldier, grateful for the witch's help, took the tinderbox and thanked her. With newfound hope, he continued his journey, knowing that this magical gift might change his life forever. Little did he know that this was only the beginning of his incredible adventure. As the soldier continued his journey, he couldn't help but wonder about the magical tinderbox and the power it held. He had seen the small dog that appeared when he struck the first flint, but he had yet to use it. One day, he came across a grand castle. It was guarded by 3 enormous dogs, each one larger and fiercer than the last. The castle was said to be filled with treasure, and the soldier's curiosity got the better of him. He decided it was time to test the power of the tinderbox. With a sense of excitement and a bit of nervousness, he struck the first flint. In an instant, a small but loyal dog appeared at his side. The soldier whispered his command to the dog, "Fetch me the treasure from the castle." With a joyful bark, the little dog dashed into the castle and returned with bags of gold and jewels in its mouth. The soldier was amazed and filled with gratitude. He patted the dog's head and gave it a portion of the treasure as a reward. But the soldier's heart swelled with ambition. He thought, "If a small dog can bring me such wealth, what might the larger dogs do?" He decided to venture closer to the castle and see what else lay inside. Little did he know that his desire for more riches would soon lead him to a grand adventure filled with magic, danger, and unexpected discoveries. The soldier's curiosity led him deeper into the castle. As he explored the magnificent halls and corridors, he couldn't help but wonder what other treasures might be hidden within its walls. Eventually, he found a chamber at the heart of the castle, and inside, he discovered a most wondrous sight. There, lying fast asleep, was the beautiful princess of the realm. She was dressed in the finest silks, and her crown and scepter lay beside her on a velvet cushion. The soldier's heart skipped a beat at the sight of the sleeping princess. She was the most enchanting and delicate creature he had ever seen. He stood there in awe, unable to take his eyes off her. After a while, he realized he should wake her. Gently, he touched her shoulder and softly called her name. The princess awoke with a start and gasped when she saw the stranger in her chamber. "Who are you, and how did you come here?" she asked, her voice trembling. The soldier quickly reassured her, "Fear not, dear princess. I mean you no harm. I am a humble soldier who has traveled far. I came here with the help of a magical tinderbox that brought me riches and led me to your side." The princess, still somewhat wary, listened to the soldier's story. As he spoke of the witch and the tinderbox's magical powers, she became curious. She said, "I have heard stories of this tinderbox, and the old witch who possesses it. If you truly have it, and if you have been kind to me, then I trust you." With her trust earned, the soldier asked, "Would you like to leave this place, away from these walls that hold you captive?" The princess nodded, and without hesitation, the soldier used the tinderbox to summon the loyal little dog. He whispered his command to the dog, "Help us escape from this castle." The small dog obeyed and led the way, guiding the soldier and the princess through the castle's secret passages. They sneaked past the sleeping guards and through the hidden doors, escaping the clutches of the castle. Now free from the castle's walls, the soldier and the princess found themselves in a world full of enchanting possibilities. Little did they know that their adventures were only beginning, and that the tinderbox held more magic than they could ever have imagined. As the soldier, accompanied by the lovely princess, journeyed through the enchanting world beyond the castle, they encountered a forest. In this forest, the air was filled with the sweet scent of wildflowers, and the birds sang melodious tunes in the treetops. Yet, their path led them to a place that was not quite as inviting. Deep within the woods, they crossed paths with a second witch, who appeared from the shadows, her eyes glinting with malice. She hissed, "What business do you have in my forest?" The soldier, wise from his previous encounters, knew that not all witches were as kind as the one who had given him the tinderbox. He quickly struck the second flint and summoned a larger and more formidable dog. This new dog, with its strength and bravery, stood before the wicked witch, growling menacingly. The witch, recognizing the power of the creature before her, retreated into the darkness and disappeared. The soldier and the princess continued on their way, feeling triumphant and grateful for the second dog's protection. As they walked, the princess asked, "Why do you carry that magical tinderbox with you? And how did you come to possess it?" The soldier recounted his journey from the very beginning, starting with the old witch, and how he had used the tinderbox to bring them to freedom. The princess, now more enchanted by the soldier's bravery and the tinderbox's magic, listened with great interest. However, their path was not without further danger. Soon, they encountered a third witch, more powerful and sinister than the others. This witch was determined to harm them and steal the tinderbox. She raised her bony hand and chanted dark spells. In a moment of crisis, the soldier knew what he had to do. With a deep breath and a resolute heart, he struck the third flint of the tinderbox, summoning the largest and fiercest dog of all. The massive, snarling dog faced the wicked witch and barked thunderously. The witch's powers were no match for the dog's might, and she was swiftly defeated. With the threat of the third witch vanquished, the soldier and the princess continued their journey, grateful for the tinderbox's magical protection. But little did they know that the challenges they would face were far from over, and that the tinderbox held even more surprises, both good and bad, in the chapters yet to come. As the soldier and the princess continued their journey through the enchanting land, their bond grew stronger. They shared stories, dreams, and their hopes for the future. The soldier knew he had found a true friend in the lovely princess, and his heart began to fill with happiness. The world they explored was like a fairy tale, with meadows of colorful flowers, sparkling streams, and towering, ancient trees that whispered secrets of the past. The soldier's adventures and newfound friendship with the princess had replaced the loneliness of his former life. However, the soldier's heart still longed for something more. He remembered the kingdom he had once served, and he knew that he had a duty to fulfill. He spoke to the princess, "My dear friend, I am grateful for the time we have spent together, but I must return to my homeland and my former life." The princess understood the soldier's sense of duty and responsibility. She embraced him warmly and said, "Go and fulfill your duties. I will cherish the memories of our time together and the adventures we've shared." With a heavy heart, the soldier used the tinderbox to summon the small dog one last time, and it guided them back to the kingdom. When they arrived, the soldier was welcomed as a hero for bringing the princess back safely. The king was overjoyed to see his daughter again and was grateful to the soldier for his bravery and loyalty. He rewarded the soldier with a chest full of gold and precious gems, making him one of the richest men in the kingdom. The soldier was given a place of honor in the kingdom, and he lived a life of comfort and luxury. But as the days passed, he couldn't ignore the growing greed in his heart. The glittering treasures of the kingdom weren't enough for him. He longed for more power and wealth. This newfound greed would set in motion a series of events that would lead to a conflict between the soldier, the princess, and the very magic that had brought them together. The consequences of his actions would soon catch up with him, and his life would take a dramatic turn in the chapters to come. As time passed, the soldier's life in the kingdom became increasingly opulent. His once humble heart became consumed by a relentless desire for more. The gold and jewels that once satisfied him were now merely a stepping stone to greater wealth and power. The soldier couldn't resist the temptation to use the tinderbox once again. He commanded the small dog to steal from the king's treasury, and the dog, bound by loyalty to its master, obeyed. The theft went unnoticed, and the soldier reveled in his secret wealth. But the soldier's insatiable greed only grew. He used the tinderbox to command the small dog to take precious jewels from the nobles of the court. His actions did not go unnoticed, and whispers of the soldier's increasing avarice spread throughout the kingdom. One day, as the kingdom's coffers grew emptier and the nobles grew angrier, a loyal servant discovered the stolen treasures hidden in the soldier's chambers. The news reached the king, who was heartbroken and filled with sorrow. The king, unable to ignore the betrayal of his trusted soldier, ordered that he be imprisoned. The soldier, once a hero, was now a criminal, locked away in the cold, dark dungeon of the castle. Alone and filled with regret, the soldier realized that he had squandered the kindness and trust he had received. The glittering riches he had stolen offered no solace for the emptiness in his heart. In his prison cell, the soldier longed for a way to make amends, but he had lost the trust of the king and the people. He knew that he would face judgment for his actions. The tinderbox, which had once been his source of good fortune, now stood as a symbol of his downfall. The soldier's life had taken a dark turn, but perhaps there was still a glimmer of hope. Little did he know that the tinderbox held the power to change his fate once more. The soldier, locked in his prison cell, had lost all hope. He knew that his actions had betrayed the trust of the king and the kingdom, and he was resigned to his fate. He pondered the choices he had made and the path that had led him to this dark and lonely place. One day, as he sat in his cell, he made a simple request. He asked the guards if he could smoke a last pipe before his judgment. The guards, feeling a spark of compassion, allowed him this small comfort. With his pipe in hand, the soldier reached into his pocket and retrieved the magical tinderbox. He thought about the power it had once held and the loyal dogs it had summoned. In a moment of desperation, he decided to strike the tinderbox's first flint. In an instant, the small but faithful dog appeared in his cell. It wagged its tail and looked up at its master with trust and loyalty, just as it had done before. The soldier realized that he still had a loyal friend who would follow his commands. With a plan forming in his mind, he whispered to the small dog, "Help me escape from this prison." The dog sprang into action, barking loudly to distract the guards. As the soldiers rushed to see what was happening, the loyal dog leapt at their feet and nipped at their heels, causing chaos and confusion. In the midst of the commotion, the soldier made his escape from the cell. He retrieved his belongings, including the tinderbox, and knew that he had been given a second chance. With the loyal dog by his side, the soldier made his way to the royal chambers, where the king and the nobles had gathered to pass judgment on him. The room fell silent as they saw the soldier, now free and holding the magical tinderbox. The soldier spoke to the king with a voice filled with remorse. "Your Majesty, I am truly sorry for the greed that consumed me and the pain I have caused. I wish to make amends and protect the kingdom from the dangers of the tinderbox." The king, torn between anger and forgiveness, listened to the soldier's plea. He agreed to spare the soldier's life but banished him from the kingdom forever. The soldier, with his loyal dog and the magical tinderbox, left the kingdom behind, knowing that he had been given a second chance to use the tinderbox's power wisely and with responsibility. The soldier's journey was far from over, and he was determined to learn from his mistakes and to find a new purpose for the tinderbox. Little did he know that greater challenges and adventures lay ahead in the chapters of his life that were yet to be written. The soldier, now exiled from the kingdom, wandered through distant lands, learning the true meaning of humility and the consequences of his actions. He was determined to use the magical tinderbox for good and to find a purpose that would redeem him in his own eyes. As he traveled, the soldier encountered people in need and used the power of the tinderbox to help them. He saved villagers from marauding bandits, found lost children in dark forests, and aided those who were suffering. His heart grew lighter with each good deed, and he realized that his newfound purpose was to use the tinderbox to protect and serve. One day, his travels led him to a faraway kingdom where he heard stories of a beautiful queen who was suffering at the hands of a wicked sorceress. The queen was imprisoned in a tower, and her kingdom was in ruins. The soldier, with his loyal dog and the magical tinderbox, offered his assistance. He used the tinderbox to summon the faithful dogs, who together defeated the sorceress and rescued the queen. The people of the kingdom were overjoyed, and the grateful queen offered the soldier a place of honor by her side. But the soldier, now wiser and humbler, declined the queen's offer. He explained that his true purpose was to use the magical tinderbox to help those in need and to protect the innocent. With a heavy heart, he bid the queen farewell and continued his journey, for he knew that his destiny lay elsewhere. As the soldier traveled, he came across a mystical forest where the trees whispered secrets and the streams sparkled with enchantment. There, he met a wise old hermit who shared stories of the magical tinderbox and its origins. The hermit spoke of the danger it posed in the wrong hands and warned the soldier to use its power wisely. The soldier, with the hermit's guidance, decided that it was time to part with the tinderbox, for its magic could be a source of great harm if it fell into the wrong hands. He buried it deep within the mystical forest, where it would be safe from those who sought its power for selfish gain. With the tinderbox buried and his purpose clear, the soldier continued his journey to help those in need and to make amends for his past actions. He found satisfaction and contentment in using his newfound wisdom and the skills he had gained to protect the innocent and bring kindness to the world. The soldier's story became a legend, a tale of redemption and the power of second chances. It served as a reminder that true happiness could be found in selflessness and that the magic of one's heart could be more powerful than any enchanted object. And so, the soldier's journey continued, filled with purpose and the promise of a better future, guided by the lessons he had learned and the magic of his own transformed heart. As the soldier's life continued, he found himself on a path of redemption and purpose. With the magical tinderbox buried safely away, he traveled far and wide, helping those in need and making amends for his past actions. He became known as a symbol of kindness and selflessness, and his name was spoken with reverence in the lands he visited. The soldier's heart was no longer burdened by greed and ambition, and he found true contentment in his acts of service. Word of his deeds reached the far corners of the world, and in one kingdom, a kind and just queen took notice. She was touched by the soldier's story and the transformation he had undergone. She invited him to her kingdom to serve as an advisor and protector of her people. The soldier, deeply humbled and honored by the queen's request, accepted her offer. He took up his new role with dedication and integrity, always ready to use his strength and wisdom to protect the innocent and to promote kindness and fairness. Under the soldier's guidance, the kingdom flourished. Peace and prosperity reigned, and the people were filled with gratitude for their wise and selfless protector. In the passage of time, the soldier's deeds and the lessons he had learned became a cherished part of the kingdom's history. His story served as a reminder of the dangers of greed and the power of redemption, a story told to children and adults alike. The kingdom knew peace and happiness for many years, and the soldier, once filled with ambition, found contentment in his purpose of service and the knowledge that he had turned his life around. The magical tinderbox remained safely buried, its secrets known only to a few, a powerful and mysterious artifact hidden away, waiting for a time when it might be needed once more. And so, the soldier's journey continued, one of kindness, redemption, and the enduring power of a changed heart, a story that would be shared for generations, a reminder of the importance of humility, selflessness, and the magic of transformation.